Joining me now is a coach of Scoil Reach in Limerick, Niall Moran. Your thoughts after that?
Yeah, look, we're obviously happy to be inside in the final there. Did very well in the first half, so no point in saying otherwise. Very sloppy in the second half there, and I suppose the key for us going forward is that we eliminate a lot of those errors against the Tulla team they're huge. They're after beating all the best teams in it. Coleman's were the Dean Ryan champions, they knocked them out. CBC were firm favourites for this competition, they've knocked them out. De La Salle, you know what I mean, huge Harty pedigree, they've knocked them out. So to be honest, even as well as we played in the first half, I'd say like our second half performance, that won't come in Nasser beating Tulla, so we've a lot to work on now.
Thurles really got into the game after that first quarter, really kind of just tried to rope you back, and it was a tight match apart from the blitzkrieg in the first 15.
Yeah, I think that's a really good summation of the match. I suppose like, young lads are young lads, like these lads 17, 18, 19, it's a big day, and I suppose maybe with Thurles, a huge team with great pedigree, there's a little bit of stage fright early on, and again, like look, it's very hard to come back when you're 13, 14 points down at that point, and I think it's fair to say like that for the other three parts of the game it was so even, and I think really going into a final, that's where we'll be viewing it, that, do you know what I mean, we have to work to the best of our ability to stand a chance with Tulla the next day. So yeah, look, we've a lot to work on too. Yeah,
you have some great players there. Niall O'Farrell breaking ball, the star of the show probably Shane O'Brien from Kilmallock, and he's a name we'll get used to hearing.
Yeah, Shane did well today. I suppose look, he's been involved in the minors for the last couple of years, and do you know what I mean, his father Adrian heavily involved in it, his uncle Paddy, very good hurler, but Shane would be the first to say that I suppose he needed to have that performance. Maybe our games to date he was lacking a little bit, and today just it fell into place for him. But I think the one thing about that group is there's some other parts. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of guys there who wouldn't have been exposed to playing top level hurling either with their clubs or their counties, and this means a lot to them, and there's some other parts, and I think they realise that if they go into a final or into any match without their attitude being at 100%, do you know what I mean, they're going to fall apart very, very quickly. And do you know what I mean, that is, as said to you, that's where we have to focus the next day. It's been game by game, as cliched as it is, but we're most definitely not in a position to look beyond any game.
What type of training have you been doing with them, Niall, over the last few months? Your coach Cormac and yourself and the backroom team, you know, tell us about the effort that has gone on. I believe you've gone to the beach in Lahinch, and you know, you've put all the effort in.
Yeah, we went to the beach, because I don't know, was that training, they played an old game of soccer and a game of frisbee and tug of war, so if that's the secret to success, fair enough. Like, but the training, look, they're the same as every other school team. Like they only do 2-3 days a week. Like I think it really goes under the radar, the work that a lot of these teachers do. Do you know what I mean? Like the Flannans, Brendan Bugler's gone back the last couple of years. We all heard about. Do you know what I mean? Derek McGrath on De La Salle. Now we've Terence Fahey and Aidan Hart and these boys above in Tulla. Like that's a country school. So like we train the same as everyone. I suppose the biggest issue for us is that we operate off a rugby pitch, which we only have a couple of days a week. So we're so grateful then for the support of the likes of the Piercig, Meelick, all the local clubs, all our feeder clubs have been very, very good to us. And without their support, we couldn't do the training that we do. And look, we do the same as every other team. We train the ball, play a match, shinny, like.
The school culture has changed a bit really, because you were probably more well known in rugby circles, taking on the likes of Rockwell and these type of schools, but all of a sudden you're taking on THurles CBS. Hurling has become a big driving force in Scoil Reach over the past decade and a half.
Yeah, I suppose going back to, it's probably been well said and well read at this point, but I suppose going back maybe 15-20 years ago, the school made a conscientious decision to compete maybe out of their depth at A level, and that goes down to all the teachers through the years without name checking any of them in particular. And yeah, look, we've been lucky that our clubs and our counties have supplied very good hurlers to us in recent years, and we've worked with those skills, and yeah, at the moment it's going great. But I suppose the way sport is in schools like Limerick, it can be very transitional. Do you know what I mean? You might have an era, and I suppose the key to it is we could never say that we have a massive reputation, because reputation comes from schools like Farn Ferris, going back to time in Cork and Northmont, Flannans and Clare, Kieran's and Kilkenny. When we're put up against them, do you know what I mean, we're a long ways off that. So I suppose every year that we get a group here, we try and do our best to them, and the aim probably every year is to get to a semi-final, and at least after that then it's in the lap of the gods. And look, for this year we're lucky enough to get into a final. It's great, it's so positive after the last couple of years of ran. But as I said, look, yeah, it's great. We enjoy it as teachers, our staff, colleagues there, they enjoy it, they support us, and parents are very supportive. So yeah, look, days like this are great when you get to a final. But again, we've experienced a disappointment 2 years ago at Dean Ryan. We were bet by Coleman's by a point. Do you know what I mean? That was a hard dressing room to go into. So our lads going forward the next day, unless they get silver